Good morning, friends. I pray that wherever in the world you are right now, the next 2 minutes are a blessing to you, so you can be the blessing to the people the Lord has put in your life today. So I think I've been mentioning that I've been listening to this on, I don't know if it's a podcast. It used to be a radio show, and I listened to it as a child on the radio when I was a kid, and I just found a website for it anyway. So I've been listening to this sermon series on the book of 1 Peter, and I'm in 1 Peter 2:5, which reads, "You also, like living stones, are being built into a spiritual house." And it was so interesting because I was listening to this podcast as I was going to meet someone who asked me to join them because they're designing a new space and they wanted a second set of eyes on these plans that they were meeting with an architect to go over today. And it is amazing. I know nothing about architecture, about building, about design. I know nothing. Like my education is not in this arena, nor have I had any experience with this, much experience with this anyway. And it is remarkable the extent to which you go to plan a space and all the things that you think about as to where things should be situated and the purpose that they have, and why a bathroom should be on a second floor as opposed to a first floor that might be underneath a floodplain. All of these things that have literally it falls under the category of things I didn't even know about. Anyway, we were like 2 hours into this meeting and we're talking about all sorts of things and I'm like getting an education. But as I was sitting there, I was thinking about this particular verse that I had listened to this morning, and I was thinking, the Lord has very specific plans for each one of us. And as believers, as his children, he places us in very specific places, unique to us, in all of time and space, where he knows that we're going to glorify him the most. And these things, the radio show was talking about how these things are very difficult to believe when we're in a tough spot. Right, when our back is against the wall, when we're sick, or when we're out of work, or when we're hurt, or when we're lonely, that it's hard to remember that we are here by the design of the one who loves us. That we have to remember that the one who called us is faithful. The one who called us to do these things is faithful. So wherever you are today, instead of dwelling on what's going on around you, I would just encourage you, and I would encourage myself, to just give our circumstances to the Lord and say, God, you've put me here for your reasons. Help me to glorify you. Help me to shine for you where I'm at. And I promise you, he will show up. He will. I promise. It's been my experience. It's been what I read in Scripture. It's been the experience of other people I know. And I promise that if you do that, if you hand over your experiences and your environment and your gifts, and your mind, you give it over to the Lord, he will meet you right where you're at. So I pray that this would encourage you as you go out or stand today and be the blessing. Till next time, Katie.